Well, welcome to my first ever virtual class. I've never taught a virtual class before, so this will be interesting. And really, this is more just like a fun thing for folks who, if you're looking for something creative to do, there's some writing prompts and some things that'll work together to get your creative juices flowing. So I'm really glad for all the folks out there who are getting engaged virtually, and here's just another way. And this won't be too intense, sort of more fun, but who knows, actually, by the end of it, you could end up having an idea that you actually want to turn into a full-length play or something. So that's the hope anyway, always. And before we get started, just the only things you really need, of course, is something to write with, and then something to keep time with, because I'm going to be saying things like, okay, now set a timer for 5 minutes, and you're going to write for 5 minutes. And then when the 5 minutes are up, then you can unpause the video and I'll continue on as if I was just like in the class with you waiting. Now what I want you to do is just connect with your body for a moment. So I like to just put my hands right here for a moment and feel my heartbeat and be very present there. And a hand on your belly helps as well to just have you present. And take a breath. See what that feels like. See what your natural breath feels like in this moment. Is it quick? Is it slow? Are you taking long, deep breaths? Just be thankful in this moment if you're taking a nice deep breath to have your healthy lungs. And then what I want you to do is take a 6 in and then hold. And hold 3, and then you're gonna do 6 out and hold 3, and then you're gonna do 6 in and hold 3, 6 out and hold 3. We're gonna do 3 cycles. And if you want to close your eyes, you can. You don't have to. Sometimes it's nice to just like unfocus your gaze and just like not look at anything in particular. And let's just go ahead, and for the first cycle I'm going to count with you, and for the second cycle I'm just gonna say breath in and hold and breath out. And then for the last cycle, you can just do it on your own. So, breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, breath out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, breath in, hold, breath out, hold, breath in, okay. So I like to do that a lot before I write, or just in general, a couple times a day. It's good to check in with your breath and make sure that you're present in your body. It's really hard to be creative or to receive creative energies or creative spirits if you're not connected with your body and with your heart and your breath. Okay, so now that you're nice and connected with your body, I'm gonna lead you through a little visualization that's gonna go into a quick writing exercise. So if you want to close your eyes, you can, or you can just keep your gaze unsteady as usual. So what I want you to do is imagine that you are on your deathbed, and you have lived a long life. You lived a long, long, fulfilled life. Whatever that looks to you to live a long, fulfilled life, that's what you have accomplished. And you are laying in your bed and you know that your last breath is almost there. In that moment, a little child comes into the room, and this can be a child that you know or it can be a stranger. And the little child comes in and grabs your hand. With your last breath, what do you say to that little child? Welcome back. This exercise I did at the Maria Irene Fornez Symposium that happened in Princeton, New Jersey, a couple of years ago, hosted by the Latinx Theater Commons. And that was a really inspiring and wonderful event that left me just with so much inspiration and really actually was part of what fueled my continued desire to want to teach and to teach with adults as well. So the look at what you wrote and know that whatever it is that you wrote to that child is what you are here to learn and what you are here to teach. So I think it's a really cool thing to have at the forefront of all of your writing. I think every time that I write, I'm trying to learn something. And of course, as you get older in life, you are going to be in positions to teach. So, and life is always learning and teaching sort of in a cycle. So whatever you wrote is a hint of what that might be in this world for you. Okay, so that's our first exercise, and that was just to get you a little bit warmed up. Now, I'm going to share 3 headlines from local news that don't have to do with all of the things that are happening with the coronavirus and the health crisis that is happening in our country right now. Just because, there are other things going on, and it's good to get our minds out of that world for a little bit, since we're sort of being bombarded with it all the time. So here are the 3 headlines, and I'm going to share them with you, and if there's one that you particularly strikes you or that you find interesting, just make a note of it. So the first one is West Philadelphia church being demolished as pastor congregation raise funds to build new home. So that's the first one. The second one is 1 million winning cash 5 tickets sold in West Philly. The next one is exclusive, I Am a Killer, a story of forgiveness. Okay. So those are your 3 headlines. Keep those in mind. Think about which ones. I'll repeat them again, so don't worry, you don't have to rewind or anything. And then I'm also going to share with you 2 blurbs of shows that were supposed to happen this season that I was supposed to see and that unfortunately got postponed because of everything that's going on. But, I wanted to give them shout outs and use their, what I'm sure would have been beautiful shows as examples. So the first is Esther Choi, your favorite all-American overachieving Asian teen, except she has a ghost. Anthony Gibson is Esther's best friend, and spoiler alert, he's dead. Mr. Choi is Esther's, I don't know why I'm saying her name like that, Mr. Choi is Esther's grandfather, and he owns a haunted dry cleaner on Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. In an unlikely turn of events, Esther must grapple with grief, loneliness, and winning first chair in high school orchestra, all while living up to her grandfather's new expectations. So that's Esther Choi and the Fish That Drowned, which was supposed to be happening at Simpatico Theater. And of course, we learn a lot about what that show could possibly be about simply with that blurb. The next one is Oedipus El Rey takes Sophocles' Greek tragedy, where a destined king unknowingly kills his father and marries his mother, and sets it in the gritty, electrifying streets of central LA. This ancient story is told through the Chicano experience, where Oedipus has just been released from prison and is propelled to take control of his own destiny. As he challenges his own fate, he is consumed with desire for power, which he cannot resist until he realizes that the cards were always stacked against him. Okay, so you have 2 blurb examples. You sort of see what a blurb does. It introduces you to the characters, tells you a little bit about what the stakes might be, what the challenges are that these characters are going to be facing and what their obstacles might be. And also gives you a hint a little bit at what the themes of the play might be as well. So, using the headlines that I shared with y'all, you're going to create your own blurb of just a few sentences, 3 to 5 sentences, of a play, a hypothetical play that exists, inspired by this headline. So I'm going to repeat the headlines just so you hear them again. West Philadelphia church being demolished as pastor congregation raise funds to build new home. 1 million winning cash 5 tickets sold in West Philly. Exclusive, I Am Killer, a story of forgiveness. Actually, let me share with you an example that I made. So this was another headline that I decided not to use, but I decided to use it as an example for y'all. Here's how to get fresh baked bread and other treats from Philly bakeries. So very simple. And I wrote this little blurb in like a minute. Diana likes her job at the bakery. It's calm and soothing, and nothing beats the smell of bread. But when a local celebrity Instagrams how much she liked her special croissants, it became the new hot spot. At first, Diana is excited to take on the new business and celebrity that recognition brings, but after a not so flattering video goes viral, she doesn't know if she can handle the newfound pressure of being an Instagram baker. I kind of want to write that, but it could be interesting. Okay, so you have your headlines, you have kind of what you want to achieve with a blurb, and set your timer for 5 minutes, and go. Okay, hope that was fun. Welcome back. Now, keep the blurb in front of you. Think about the blurb you just created. Think of a character that exists in this world you just created, in this hypothetical play. Think of a character that you want to get to know a little bit better, or that you feel like you already know a little bit, but you should probably, dig in deeper, which is probably all of them because you're just creating these people now. Okay, so if you want to close your eyes, you can, or just unfocus your gaze and try not to focus on anything specific. And imagine the character from this blurb, this hypothetical play, standing in front of you. What do they look like? Imagine scanning them from top to bottom. What are they wearing? Do they have any stubble on their face, or can you see the way the light hits their glasses, or what makes them unique and distinguishable? Scars. How do they stand? Where do they hold their energy in their bodies as you're looking at them? Imagine that they were on a turntable and you could look at them in 3D and look around them and see what they look like. Do they remind you of any kind of animal? If so, which animal? Okay. Now that you feel like you can see your character pretty clearly, you're going to write a diary entry from the point of view of this character that you just created. It's at some point in their life that they have to write about. They can talk about what happens in your blurb, but it shouldn't be the only thing that they talk about. So don't let it just be that your character's diary is them repeating what happens in the blurb. Get into a specific moment that they have to write about. What are they feeling and what are they processing about what's just happened? So you're going to set another timer for 5 minutes. Don't overthink it. Don't start to get too deep. Just start to write. Let your character speak. Okay? Go. Five minutes up? Okay. All right, we're not done yet. Now, you're going to drop this character that you just created into the place that causes the strongest emotions in them, whether that be good or bad, with a person that causes very strong emotions in them, whether that be good or bad. So think of those two things, the place and the person. Now that you know your character a little bit, where do they really, really want to be, or really, really, really not want to be? And who do they really, really, really want to be with, or really, really don't want to be with? And mix those two up and drop them into a scene together. So here are some things that you want to think about. What do they want in this place? Why are they here? What is the relationship between the two characters? What do they want from each other? Who has the most power in this situation? And who gets what they want, if anyone? So just think about those things for a moment. If you want to write, I'll repeat it if you want to write those questions down. So what do they want in this place? What is the relationship of these two people? What do they want from each other? Who has the most power? Who gets what they want, if anyone? And you're going to set a timer for 10 minutes this time. So you have a little bit more time. This is going to be a dialogue back and forth. If you want to put any setting, descriptors, or anything like that, it's great. Don't worry about format too much, though. Just let yourself write it out. And if at some point the scene sort of stops, so you're not sure where it goes, skip to the next moment that you hear them talking, or that you feel like they're they feel very active to you. And if these people have a relationship, then they'll have something to talk about. So go ahead, set your timer for 10 minutes, and I'll meet you on the other side. This is going to be your final exercise, and it's more to do after we say goodbye now, and it's should be fun. So just save it with you, and or write it down so you can do it after we close up here. So what happens if the moment you just wrote is actually a hallucination? Rewrite your scene without worrying about the rules of reality. Magic is allowed. So, what happens if you rewrite the scene with the same people, same circumstances, same place, but maybe it's a hallucination? Or maybe there's magic. Okay? So, I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for hopping in on this call with me today. Call. I've been doing so many calls. That's what I thought I was doing for a moment. And stay creative, stay writing. This is an unprecedented time, and we should all be writing. We should all be documenting what we're feeling and what we're going through, and the realities, the truths about what are happening right now, or our interpretations of those truths, or the questions we have about what this time means for all of us. And if that's too close to home right now, because it's kind of hard to process things when you're in the middle of it, then there's always so many other ways to get inspiration to write, and to write about things that matter that maybe aren't exactly in the present, which can feel a little heavy. And this was one of those ways. So hopefully whatever you ended up writing was not about the coronavirus. But if it was, it's okay, because we're all sort of caught up in that brain space right now. And if you don't know, Page by Page, which is a blurb that Jacqueline Goldfinger runs, you should look it up and look up Jacqueline Goldfinger. It's a really great blurb for playwrights, or a blog for playwrights, and has a lot of writing prompts and articles and resources that she sends out often. And also, if you're looking for some live theater, look at the Parsnip Ship, which is a podcast that does live plays. And my play, Mori Soñando, is presented on there. I think it was the latest release, or there might have been another one released since then. And myself and Gabby Sanchez from Power Street are starring in it. So you should definitely check that out if you want to be immersed into some theater while we're all sort of sequestered into our homes. Crazy. Thank you all for being here.